Hi everyone and welcome. Today I'm here with Charlie, who runs partnerships for AWS globally for financial services. AWS have been an incredible partner of ours for more than a decade, and today we're going to talk about some of the great things we've done over that last decade, a glimpse into the future of our partnership, and also what it means to be part of the partner ecosystem in the digital banking world. Charlie, welcome.
Ben, thank you so much for having me. Shall we kick off by perhaps you talking a little bit about the background to our partnership? I'd love to hear your views on that first.
Yeah, AWS has been probably the most significant global partner we've had since Mambu was formed over 10, 11, 12 years ago. You've been with us since the beginning. At the early stages, where Mambu to some extent was a school project from our founders or a master's project from our founders, it's turned into quite a substantial business. And at the beginning, the relationship was purely one of a vendor, if you like, where we were born in the cloud, and AWS was the market leader, still is actually, but was the market leader in that space. So it was the obvious choice, but we just needed someone to host our software. And as we've grown and become one of the more prominent, if not the largest of this next generation of digital banking platforms, the relationship with AWS has changed as well. The last few years, there's been a stronger strategic alignment between our two businesses, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail soon. But just to give you some perspective and give the viewers some perspective as well, Mambu now has more than 250 live clients who process the transactions of more than 80 million of their customers. And that's in large part thanks to the relationship that we have with AWS.
I mean, that's just really wonderful to hear. And I think from my perspective, what really excites me about the future is as we move to create a more strategic partnership, how we're investing together to drive better business outcomes for both ourselves and for our customers. We are partnering really deeply on our co-sell arrangements. I know you're part of some of our very special invite-only programs, which is really exciting, helping to bring our sales teams together and making sure that we're going together to solve customer problems. And then more broadly, as we're starting to invest together to drive innovation for our customers and to drive those outcomes that we're looking for together, it's going to be a really exciting future.
Incredibly exciting future. And again, if you look at the history since the strategic partnership was really put into place, we've do an awful lot together in different parts of the world as well, and it's the global nature of the relationship that's particularly important. Now, whether that's in the emerging markets in, say, the ASEAN region, or in Latin America, or the more established markets, the major economies as well, AWS is there hand in hand with Mambu, and that's a really important part of our growth, certainly, and also importantly the developments that our clients are able to make now to solve their customer pain points because of the technology solutions that both we and our partner ecosystem offer. So we bring the best solutions to our customers, who in turn can do incredible things for their clients. So Charlie, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the community of partners that you have at AWS, and how that benefits your customers and actually other partners as well, like us.
Yeah, AWS has the largest and most dynamic community with millions of active customers on a monthly basis, and with over 100,000 partners that are part of the AWS Partner Network. And those partners come from 150 different countries, with almost 70% of them headquartered outside of the US, which is, I think, pretty amazing. And what we're seeing is that partner community bring certain benefits to our banking customers. So firstly, it enables them to have choice. Our customers have access to best-in-breed solutions to enable them to address their business and their customer needs. And then secondly, we're seeing them accelerate our customers' time to market, enabling them to more simply respond to market volatility, and also address some of the issues around profitability. And then finally, we're seeing them as a catalyst for innovation. Whether that is being the driving force behind the innovation we're seeing in customer experience at the moment with things like embedded finance, or whether that is about helping our customers access data from their core in real time to provide customers with personalized real-time offers. Are you seeing something similar?
So when Mambu was set up, it was by design a very skinny platform, and therefore by design is dependent upon a partner ecosystem. right? And so what that means is that through the other ISVs, whether it's system integrators, whether it's companies like AWS, specifically AWS, given our history around the hosting side of things, we can stitch together the best of breed, both from a solution standpoint and also allow our customers access to the most knowledgeable and experienced parties that can implement solutions as well, so they can solve specific customer problems and modernize their business as well. So we have a network of around 200 or so product partners or other ISVs which are stitched into Mambu, so our clients can therefore get the best fraud operations company, get onto the payment rails very effectively, do their credit decisioning effectively, offer value-added services such as, say, accounting software even to their small businesses, together with a system integration company that knows exactly how our APIs work, how the APIs work, and how they can stitch the constituent solution into clients' other solutions. And so that partner ecosystem is a necessary part of how Mambu goes to market, and actually how we've innovated in the market as well. We created the notion of composable banking, which is about how clients can compose the banking experience they want, which clearly is based on end customer demand and end customer needs. And so what's the consequence of this? So typically when a client moves from a legacy core banking platform onto something, onto Mambu and the composable ecosystem, the IT run costs tend to reduce by around 50%. In one case, it's actually up to 80%. Speed to market is incredible with this modern solution as well, if you like, of partners, where in one particular case in Latin America, friends and family only, I hasten to add, we were able to launch a multi-currency digital wallet in 13 days.
Oh, fantastic.
Right? Incredible when you think about the speed to market and therefore time to revenue, but most importantly for our clients, and again, I'll reinforce the point, that was friends and family only. The actual launch of the live product took between 3 and 6 months, but in such a relatively short space of time, as a client, as an end client of Mambu's, you can differentiate in the market, create that that advantage, and show something that's bring something that's more relevant, add more relevance to your customer relationships in a relatively short space of time. In addition to that, just look at customer experience. So one of our clients who has built their offering on Mambu and the ecosystem has a net promoter score now of 65. And for those that know about net promoter score, 65 is an incredible result, right? So what we're definitely seeing is that through the partner ecosystem stitched together as a solution of modern best-in-breed partners, the skills and expertise of industry players to actually implement it as well. And clients are doing incredibly well in the market as a result, with real tangible and measurable outcomes for their customers.
Ben, that's really fantastic, and I think really reflects what we're seeing, which is the strategic importance of our partners to help our customers become more agile, to respond more quickly to changing market dynamics, and to create offers and solutions for their customers that they would not be able to do alone. And really that's one reason why AWS is investing so much in the AWS partner network and in our relationships with independent software vendors and consultancy partners. We see these partnerships as strategically important to accelerating our customers' transformation and journey to the cloud.
So there's a virtuous cycle that you're building here, right? Which is the relationship with your partners actually helps accelerate your clients' movement into the cloud, and therefore that whole movement of partner plus client, helps the industry evolve and develop.
Absolutely. Our partners are strategically important to that virtuous circle.
Charlie, everyone knows that AWS is customer obsessed, right? So you've got this huge network of partners that have eyes and ears in the market. You have this, you're one of the prevalent, if not the prevalent player in the market as well. So you must hear a lot of what's going on in the market from your customers. So what are some of the trends that you're hearing from customers, and how do you see the industry, evolving from here?
So what we're seeing, or I guess some of the common themes we're seeing, is banks becoming increasingly open to augmenting their business models and approach to customer acquisition. And really we're seeing that being driven, I think, by three different things. So first of all, market opportunity. And a recent Accenture report called out that there's $416 billion at stake as we move to a global data economy. Secondly, cost of competition and cost of customer acquisition. A recent Oliver Wyman report called out that the cost of acquiring a customer, if you have a greenfield banking as a service stack, is actually $5 to $35, as compared to $100 to $200 typically, which is a huge gap, right? And then thirdly, changing customer expectations. A recent MasterCard report stated that 80% of US consumers and 90% of younger consumers are connecting their bank account to technology apps, right? So open finance. And we only expect these trends to continue. To address these trends, we're seeing financial institutions take kind of two different approaches. Firstly, is a marketplace approach where they're really seeking to augment their offering by leveraging partners who can provide services that they would not be able to otherwise provide. So those partners build on behalf of the bank. And often they are using that to address requirements of niche markets or enter new markets. The second approach we're seeing is a banking as a service approach. And in this scenario, financial institutions are leveraging non-financial institutions to sell to their customers. They don't own the customer, and they're providing open APIs that the company will white label in order to offer financial products to their customers.
So it's really interesting, just picking up on some of the points there. So what I think you're saying is, and what the research would show, is that in a technology and data-driven world, end customers can offer something more compelling to their own customers while fundamentally improving the economics as well. So that's on the one hand. And that's the reason why every financial institution in the world, and I'm fairly confident in saying every, has to engage with the ecosystem of companies like yours and companies like ours. One large bank that I know, in fact a global bank, introduced a new role called the FinTech concierge once.
Fantastic.
Because of the difficulty that smaller organizations had in navigating large organizations, and yet the large organization needed to work with smaller organizations to get access to, the best technology, some of the best skills, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and I think there's a general acceptance that people will not always build everything themselves. I guess the other thing I'm thinking about is we have a number of mutual customers that reflect some of those trends that we're talking about. I'm thinking about one customer in Germany who I know has a large partnership with a telecoms company to offer loans to their consumers.
We have, as I said at the beginning, we have around 250 customers at Mambu, and I'm not sure of the precise number, but at least 90%, if not more, are joint customers actually. And so when you look at the customer base we have in about 60 countries, it's quite hard to pick the best example actually, because there are many good ones. So some immediate partners that come to mind which kind of show the strength of the relationship. There's a lender in the Nordics actually that was able to move into 7 new countries in under 3 months, which is incredible.
That is fantastic.
So we did that together. One of the leading technology providers that's European based, that offers a banking service to non-bank customers, is a joint customer of ours, and they're one of the darlings of European fintech. We move around the world. The first Sharia compliant bank on a next generation core banking platform is a joint customer of ours. One of the largest banks, if not the largest bank in a Latin American country, is a joint customer of ours.
And I think
so it goes.
the bank you just referenced, the Share Compliant Bank in Malaysia, I know that one of their intentions is specifically to be able to connect fintechs to their core banking system in order to be able to offer those services onwardly to their customers. And then they are also planning to use AWS's AI and ML services, again, to drive that personalization.
Because what that bank understands is that they need a pace of innovation to keep up with customer demand. The only way you can do that is by building that community of, best of breed technology providers that are quick to integrate, quick to configure and quick to launch.
Ben, I'd love to hear you tell me a little bit about how Mambu's approach to partnering has changed over the last 11 years. Moreover, what you see the future of Mambu's partnering strategy.
Yeah, sure. So there are three things to say here. The first is, if you look at the way traditional partnering works over the last decades, right? It tends to be quite transactional. So I'll give you an example, right? Ben might call Charlie up and say, Charlie, do you want to go to a picnic, right? Or Ben might call Charlie up and say, where's my lead, right? It's I either want something or I want to give you something. That's a transaction. And how things are very, very different now is that actually, Ben and Charlie meet on a regular basis at Mambu and AWS, and we have a collection of, system integrators and other software businesses where we've got this incredible chemistry and the incredible fit of our business, and by design, rather than just off the cuff transactions, if you like, by design we're pooling together to try and bring something really good into the industry to add value to our clients. So that's really the first thing. The second thing to recognize is that the nature of that ecosystem has to be dynamic. So it's not a one size fits all situation. So sometimes a client will want a solution that makes use of their own, say, AML, platform, or they're already, perfectly fine with, managing payments or something. They may have their preferred system integrator, for example. So the second thing is the nature of that relationship needs to be fairly dynamic. And then the third thing that we see that's a pattern within a modern partner ecosystem is the fact that by design, there's a series of partners that work together very well that has to be dynamic. That's the second point. There are countless eyes and ears open in the industry as well, listening to all of the signals from all of the prospective clients out there for their pain points, for their ambitions, for their needs for innovation. And so if you've got that really strong network in place that by design is intentionally working together, not transacting with each other, you pick up on those signals and then you all pull each other, in the appropriate way at the appropriate time to bring something really compelling to the customer, which therefore solves a customer problem.
I think that's really great, Ben. And from my perspective, I think that kind of echoes what we're seeing and also what we're doing together. When I think about the strategic collaboration agreement we're putting in place, part of that is to decide where we are strategically going as a partnership and to deeply understand the solutions that we can put in front of our customers that solve their problems, and to do that with intention and to make sure we're doing that in a collaborative way that adds value to that end customer.
And that's why having a joint proposition is important.
Yep.
That's why understanding our joint value to
Absolutely.
our customers is important. That's why understanding the ecosystem is important.
And how we all come together and how that universe of solutions comes together to deliver the best outcomes for our customers.
And one of the things that I'm most excited about in terms of the medium term with our partnership is not just the partner ecosystem. Of course, that's really important, but that's where we're starting. But then leveraging the other solutions that you have at AWS and possibly even more broadly across Amazon. Mambu has a real-time ledger, right? So the incredible things you can do with a data and analytics layer on top of that, personalized, customer experiences, product personalization, you name it. That's something that our businesses can do together that we'll take into the market in due course.
Fantastic.
So Charlie, when it comes to core banking, what are you seeing in the market? What does the research tend to show?
I don't think there's any one approach that we're seeing our customers take to core modernization, but what we do know, if we refer to the World Banking Report in 2020, is that 95% of banks are not happy with their existing core banking solution, and moreover that 63% of banking leaders see core modernisation as strategically important to achieving or maintaining their competitive advantage.
So what we're seeing in the market, live client by client, is actually something quite similar. But if you need to sort of break the market into two to some extent. When it's with the the neobanks and the greenfields and those sorts of organisations, they see a cloud first SaaS-based solution as being just a critical part of being able to stand up and run their business. Yeah. What you've just been talking about, what the research tends to show, is about more the traditional banking domain, right?
Yeah.
And what's really interesting when you again divide that into, say, the large global tier one banks and some of the more local but traditional banks, is that the complexity that the large banks face is so high in multiple jurisdictions covered by multiple regulators, that while the technology doesn't offer the ability to change quickly, because that technology stack may have been there for 20, 30, 40 years in one of the most highly regulated industries, it's such a bold move to make any change that the only way of doing it will be incrementally. I think some of the smaller, more local organizations actually, as a result, have a little bit more flexibility simply because it's simpler for them.
Yeah, and we're seeing really the incumbent banks take three primary approaches to modernisation. So firstly, they will seek to augment that existing core by building cloud interfaces over the top of it. Secondly, we'll see them migrate that core to the cloud and refactor it. And then finally, we see them migrate their core to a new modern core application like Mambu, or stand up a digital challenger bank. I think what's interesting is underpinning all of that is this desire for those financial institutions to have an open architecture that enables them to more quickly and easily understand their customers, to respond more quickly to changing market conditions, and to launch products that respond to their customer needs.
And that's exactly what we're seeing in the market as well. So there are typically two approaches that our clients tend to talk to us about most, actually, in the traditional banking sphere. One is, which both involve actually running a dual core in one way or another. So one might be as an acquisition engine for deposits, say. And once that's up and running, they make the cost efficiency gains, they improve the customer experience, they might move, unsecured lending. So there's a gradual transition, and that's what I think McKinsey referred to as hollowing out the core. The other is the greenfield technology stack. We see less of that now, chiefly because of the economic conditions that we find ourselves in. First COVID, and now this impending time of difficulty, should we say. But it hasn't gone away entirely, and what banks still do is to set up a new brand or a new proposition, if you like, on a greenfield technology stack to learn how that works, and then they'll start that slow migration. I see the days of rip and replace in a 4-year program that runs over budget and over time. I see less and less of that as the years progress. Can you tell us a little bit about how you help customers with access to the massive partner community that you've developed at AWS?
So AWS has the largest and most dynamic community, with millions of active customers on a monthly basis and over 100,000 partners who are part of our AWS partner network. They come from 150 countries, and almost 70% of them are based outside of the US. And AWS has invested heavily in this partner network because we believe our partners are strategically important to helping our customers transform their business and modernize. We've invested in this partner community because we believe these partners are strategically important to helping our customers modernize and accelerate their business transformation. And those partners include independent software vendors and consultancy partners, all of whom are helping our customers become more agile and helping them develop and deploy their new business models. The benefit that partner community brings those customers is these solutions and services are already available on AWS, and so they simply are able to access them to use them straight away out of the box. And then moreover, our customers have been asking us for a simplified way to access these partners. They want to be able to identify and discover, manage and deploy these partner solutions in a simpler way. AWS developed the AWS Marketplace back in 2012, and what it really does is provides customers with a single pane of glass to identify and manage their partner relationships. When we think that customers have on average 600 SaaS solutions at the moment, which we expect to increase as customers go to the cloud, this is incredibly important to them as they transform their business models. We have at the moment 325,000 active customers on the AWS Marketplace and more than 12,000 active listings.
Charlie, thanks very much for joining me today. It's been great talking with you about some of the trends that we're seeing in the market, some of the customer pinch points that we're solving together. Importantly, it's also been great to just experience how the relationship between our two businesses has changed from being one a decade ago that was transactional to this incredible relationship that we've got today, very much a global strategic partnership. Really looking forward to working with you and the team to take this to the next level as the next decade unfolds.
Ben, thank you so much for having me, and I think likewise incredibly excited for what the next decade of our relationship looks like and how we can really partner together to solve our customer problems.